It happened on August 5th. OpenAI released a new model, but sadly it was not GPT-5 as it was rumored before. So we're going to see GPT-5 later in August, maybe even in the next days. There's another rumor that it's going to be released on 8th of August, but we will have to see what is really happening. Despite that, OpenAI released another very interesting model a lot of people have been waiting for. And then also directly Anthropic, they released also a new model, a small upgrade to the previous ones. And we want to talk about this now in this video. So first of all, OpenAI released their open weight models called GPT-OSS, and there is 120 billion parameter models as well as 20 billion parameter models. They are open weight, not completely open source, but they really should be able to compete with other projects from Meta, Llama, for example, Mistral, or especially also all the Chinese open source models which are coming on the market. And also companies are building based on that. And so, OpenAI Pivot, this is the first open weight model since GPT-2. So that's actually quite a long time. And we know there were many disputes in the last year from the company if it should go in a closed, more closed environment and company structure than it was, and in the beginning from the core on meant to be. And then at the same time, we saw a new upgrade to the Claude Opus family, so Claude Opus 4.1. It's a minor upgrade, but we're going to talk about that more a bit later. So this strategy from OpenAI to release an open weight model is long overdue, I would say. So they give a lot of benefits with this model, and actually also the performance should be on par with other top tier models which are out now also from for example OpenAI, but they put a lot of also investigation, security measurements that the model is not too intelligent, so it could cause, even with fine-tuning and a lot of compute, harm to humanity, let's say, in biological way, in cybersecurity way, and so on. But I think it's very important to keep and stay competitive for OpenAI to have these open weight models. It's not completely open source. We'll talk a bit later more about this, to really stay competitive and keep up to date with the demand from certain governments, regulatory parties, and so on. So these new GPT-OSS models, they are based on the mixture of experts, technology, or architecture. So that means while they be used, they don't use the full 120 billion or 20 billion at once. No, they only use a fraction of these. In the case of the GPT-OSS 120 billion parameters, we use only 5.1 billion while being active, and the other one uses just 3.6. And for that means also you need less compute. It's way more efficient, which is great to see. And so basically the 120 billion parameter model is dedicated for or targeted at hardware like GPU clusters from, or single GPU cluster from NVIDIA, for example, the H100, but still this one costs several $10,000s, while this smaller model can be running locally, maybe even on a more or less standard PC with VRAM of higher than 16 gigabytes. So that's, I think, a big benefit for a lot of people who want to run applications, maybe in their companies, but they don't have so many resources in terms of money or skill sets, so they are way easier to run there. So when we talk about the benchmarks of these models, we're going to see that GPT, the open source, or not open source, the open weight model basically has quite good performance also comparing to other models like O3, O4 Mini with tool use. We can see it's almost on par like with O3, while the smaller model can also without tool use be even smarter than O3 Mini was without tools, in the Codeforce benchmark. So then in the humanities last exam test, we have still O3 with tools like way smarter than for example GPT-OSS with the 120 billion parameters with tools. So there are still differences in the health hard benchmark, we have quite competitive 30 points compared to the 70.5 points from the O4 Mini, which is, in my opinion, quite interesting, and a very smart or very good 10.8% score compared to the O3 Mini with 4. Yeah. And at the IMEE 25 benchmark with tools, we have GPT-OSS with 97.9% accuracy compared over to O4's Mini 99.5. So there's still some way to go, but it's still definitely a quite interesting model. At the MMLU benchmark, we have the 120 billion parameter model with a result of 90% accuracy, again compared to the O4 Mini a bit below, because this one is getting 93%. Again here, the 20 billion parameter model can quite compete with the 87% accuracy of the O3 Mini model. So it's kind of in between, yeah, but still in most cases not above the O3 model, for example, also here in the Tau benchmark, yeah. And despite the facts that these were comparisons between, yeah, fully closed models and compared to an open weight model, we have to also make differences between like open weight models like the GPT-OSS and, for example, a DeepSeek model, which is fully open source. So the distinction is made that also here, OpenAI is not sharing the information or the data where the models have been trained on. So they keep this for them as a secret, and though can give out the most important things to fine-tune models to developers or to governments who can use then this model, and they will have models made out of US and not, for example, from China. So Anthropic, on the other side, yeah, they launched Claude Opus 4.1. It's at the same time almost, yeah, it's just not a big upgrade. It's really a minor upgrade to the latest model. So some of the key improvements from benchmarks when we look here at the SWE benchmark is that it got a bit smarter. It doesn't seem like a big step from 72.5% to 74.5%, but these small marginal gains can mean, despite that, still some positive impact, which Claude or Anthropic is also showing through some testimonials. But when we look here at the benchmarks, we see that, yeah, Sonnet, in comparison to Sonnet, the new 4.1 Claude Opus reached 74.5. In the graduate level reasoning, we have 80.9 comparison to the 79.6 versus 75.4. Still here, Gemini Pro is with its 86.4 quite higher. We have also some new benchmarks for visual reasoning, 77.1% versus, for example, 74.4% from the Sonnet, or the Opus 4 model with 76.5%, yeah. But still, in some areas, Gemini is still more advanced. But we know that Claude is really specializing their models, for example, for yeah, coding. And there they got some testimonials, for example, from GitHub, where GitHub noted that it's particular notable performance gains in multi-file code refactoring. And also Rakuten Group, they praised the model's ability to pinpoint exact corrections within large code bases without making unnecessary adjustments or introducing bugs. So we have to see in real world what that means. But I would say when GPT-5 will come out, the score in these benchmarks will be way higher with GPT. And then we have to see what Anthropic will be countering with, yeah. But still, there was some important other news during the announcement of Claude Opus 4, because now Anthropic and Claude got directly integrated into GitHub's Copilot for Enterprise and Pro Plus users. So they are embodying their best model directly into the software development cycle, which is used by millions of developers through GitHub. That's quite a powerful move, and we have to see like how it plays out. So yeah, that was quite an interesting day. Sadly, not what we hoped for, that we finally see GPT-5, but it was still interesting. And I think also GPT-OSS is a quite important move, and we have to see how smart it is and in which applications, or for example, which governance will jump on that train and using these open weight models from OpenAI. And also interesting to see that Claude on the same day released the Opus 4.1 model. But that's how it is going in AI. Yeah, the race is never over. And in a few days, we're going to see GPT-5 and we are going to talk about it. We're going to test it. We will build applications with GPT-5 inside. And if you want to see that, then you should make sure that you follow my channel, and I will help you to benefit from this AI race. Thank you for watching and see you soon.